Hello, human designers. Welcome to 12 Blue Lines. I am Isa Silver, and today's episode involves following the sun and the earth, as it always does. But this week we are in the gate 14, the gate of capacity, a sacral gate. It feeds small groups and large groups with the vital force and capacity for individual creation, balanced out by promotion in the throat, expression of individuality that benefits the small group. Now, it's interesting that these are group related in that they're both very individual, and we are on an individuality streak here at the beginning of the quarter of mutation. If you can see where the sun is in this image, it's kind of right there around gate 1 where we were just a few transits ago. So we are in these first weeks of the quarter of mutation. And this one, well, this is where the capacity for mutation, a kind of cultural mutation, can come from. Genetic mutation comes from just below gate 14, the other side of the sacral center, gate 3. But I would say gate 14 is the capacity and energy that can feed an individual mutation, but it's also the basis of humans making material. It's so important. It's a key gate, the key gate, we could say, in a small group penta or in the large group, the Wa. But for today, I'm going to speak to it simply on the basis of the individual. And I will say I have benefited oh so much from the individuals who carry gate 14. The securing of capacity is higher principles, line 1, the foundation. The key to power is higher principles. And on the bright side, that's knowledge of using resources to achieve the higher principles. And on the shadow side, we have the wasting of resources because money cannot solve everything. Balanced on the expression side, up here in the throat center, by sincerity, to overcome boundaries through sharing justly. On the bright side here is the knowledge that creative expression in the throat center must be shared with others. The natural at capacity is wise enough to know when experts are needed for expansion. I don't think of the second line as understanding that they can call out other experts, but I guess they don't even really know that they're doing it, because the wisdom here on the bright side is that sometimes there's an individual way to success, but there is a wisdom to knowing when to call in others to get that capacity into an expansion. And that's an expansion for the group. Balancing out that wisdom for the group and resource expansion is serving. An example through unselfish expression is the possibility here. The shadow, which which will be happening this week since Earth is in gate 14, or rather gate 8, the willingness to sell one's creativity for a price. Now, we're not shaming money here, but it's simply what is the shadow of serving is, oh, I'll do it for you for money. But on the bright side is the potential to become an example through unselfish expression of creativity. The experiencing of capacity gives the possibility of serving and selflessly contributing to society. That sure sounds good. The shadow, it involves the greed to not share, and the bright side is the selfless use of energy, supporting others. Trials and errors with capacity leads to sharing it with the group because then everyone in the penta wins. Oh, the penta. On this side, I don't know if I understand it yet. Style. The potential here, the blue line here is Style is valued higher than substance. Remember, this is just expression, basically. Um, but on the bright side is small talk, and on the dark side is the pretender. So trials and errors with promotion lead to style being valued higher than substance. Not sure I get it yet, but maybe somebody could tell me. Getting into the transpersonal expression of capacity, security, having the resources. Strong foundations protect and provide security. What would that be like to have a strong foundation? What does that really even mean? And what happens when we get to the fourth line in the eighth gate? Up in the throat, it's called respect. The potential is the respect to recognize the contributions of others. Individual gate, but fourth line, networking promotion, it turns into respect potentially. Now, what does the collective want to see from capacity? It's self-confidence, power through innate dignity. The sun on the bright side, here we are, the self-confidence to know how capacities have to be used. The self-confidence. The shadow is surrounding oneself with yes men to maintain one's own power and avoid criticism. The generalizing of capacity is self-confidence, balanced by its polar opposite, order. Order, balancing cohesion and separation. These lines have to do with the teacher who contributes and lets the child or lets the student go versus the teacher who cannot let go of the students, identified perhaps with promoting. And then there's humility. The top yang line of this very yang gate, humility to accept a higher will. It's not your credit, it's not your work that you got to be a role model of capacity. So, with the sun on the bright side, remaining humble and grateful in material success and wealth. Balanced by the expression at the right time. Harmonious timing of creative contributions is what the role model has here, because it's not always the right moment. In fact, it's rarely the right moment to speak. But when the timing is right, this sense of when to contribute comes out with a shadow that there's uncertainty, not knowing when one's own contribution can be expressed. The sixth line, who is not sure they're going to get involved. That happens to six lines. They had to live through that third line experience. Something that comes out of my unique experience with human design is recognizing that gate 8 is part of the five-centered matrix. So mammals carry it. This is the gate of the alpha for the mammals. And it's also in the dream rave, therefore, and it's Ra Uru Hu's so-called weak point. But gate 14 is not part of the five-centered matrix, not part of the mammals, not part of the dream rave, not part of anything except the human matrix. So this capacity for individual creation and to be part of a group, a material the material process of the pentagroup, this is uniquely human. So if you're interested in that topic, I'll get a little further into it in the Rave I Ching dramatic presentation I do called the Chutzpah I Ching, and that's something that is an audio podcast off of my Substack. Meanwhile, I'm still learning from the Blue I Ching, and if you're learning or want to learn more about your own chart or any part of what we talked about today, you are welcome to find me. Until next time, take care.